sometimes it actually feels weird to like post a review of a film that is kind of like an untouchable film, especially one that's about untouchables. I felt that way when I touched on A New Hope, which of course I gave an A+. There are just some films out there that what can I say? What can I offer to the table that hasn't already been offered by, I don't know, thousands of film critics over the years? This film is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. And as a reward, they remastered and re-released The Godfather. Actually, they remastered the whole thing, according to Paramount Plus, so I can keep going, because Paramount Plus hates to have anybody watch credits. They don't want you to bother with credits. My God. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But I happened to, when I did get pushed out of this film, I got pushed into part 2, which is also audio described, and it was referred to as being The Godfather Part 2 Remastered. So I'll get to it. Don't worry. But this is like my second/third time. I think I saw it like the first, one time when I was young on TV, but it was like an edited version, and I don't remember most of it, but I remember seeing like parts of it, because when I did see it when I was older, there were parts of it that I like knew for some reason, like I knew they were gonna happen. And it's been a minute since I've seen The Godfather. I bought it on DVD back in the day and watched it when it came out. So I don't know. I don't want to say it's 20 years, but it could be pretty close. Could be like 18, something like that, since I've seen The Godfather. So my actual recollection and being able to compare this to audio description is not going to be great. For those of you new to my channel and who are like, what's he doing? Is that an iPhone? Yeah, it was an iPhone. I'm a blind film critic, so surprise, I get to offer that to you. I haven't always been blind, so I have seen movies. I did actually see The Godfather back in the day, but now I'm blind, and so now I review movies with audio description, because I now need them to be able to see films. Fun. Definitely make sure you get that film degree, and it's very, very valuable later on in life, because everybody wants a blind film critic. But I'm here, and so is The Godfather. And I don't, like I said, what do I say? The story's really great. They did a really great job of adapting Mario Puzo's book. Obviously, there's a lot of attraction to this project right now because of The Offer, which is also on Paramount Plus, which I just started watching, which was, that was like the big reason why I pushed myself into The Godfather again, is I was like, oh, no, this would be an excellent time to get into The Godfather again, would be while I'm watching The Offer. So that definitely encouraged the rewatch, plus the remaster and the anniversary. It was just like this perfect trifecta of things to make me want to watch this movie again. 3 hours, but you know what? Avatar's longer, and everybody's gonna watch that, so it's not that weird. This comes from a day back when we used to just make movies, and we used to just make them long, and now we make everything as a limited series. So it's like people are too scared to make like a 3-hour film, so they're like, you know what? Let's just stretch it out, make it even longer, and then we'll just sell it to Hulu and make a limited series. And so instead of getting something that could have easily just been a movie, we get something that has like 8 episodes in it and is way too long and did not need to be. So we have so many limited series now. It's really insane. But it's like the new hotness. If The Godfather was made today, I'm positive this would be a limited series, and there never would have been a Francis Ford Coppola adaptation of this work, which is a shame. I mean, the score to this film, the performances, everything, it just sort of comes together. I didn't read the book, so can't compare. this film is older than I am. So as far as spoilers go, it's off the table. That's my official. If the film is definitely if the film is older than me, I do not feel remotely like spoilers are a thing. If the film is older than, if you can see me and you can see how old I am, or even if you're just listening to me and you can hear my voice and you're like, he sounds like he's, yeah. So if a film's older than I am, no, spoilers don't exist. Sorry. You should have seen it by now. You've had plenty of time. So I don't know, like what do I say? Like, what are my favorite parts? I mean, there's so many iconic moments in the film. Probably the most iconic moment for me, the one that I was oddly waiting for the most, was Sonny being gunned down. You know, like that was so weird for me. You know, because that was the one I was just like, okay, I can't remember how deep into the movie it is. You know, like, when's it coming? I just kept expecting it to come, because I didn't remember James Caan being in a lot of the film. So I thought it was closer to the beginning. And then when I watched it and I really analyzed it, there was part of me that was like, how did they know he was going through the toll booth? How did they, because he kind of makes that call on a snap judgment, and the car is in front of him. So did the car speed around him? Like, was it a car that was stalking the house and, you know, assumed where he was going and just it's easier when you're following somebody, but at least the audio description said the car was in front that stopped. And as I kind of remember that, I feel like he was blocked and he couldn't move forward. So, I think that was the case anyway. But, yeah, so I definitely look forward to that scene. I love the hospital sequence when Michael was smart enough to know that obviously everybody has been cleared out of this hospital for a reason. I don't know why the one nurse was left behind. You know, I mean, there's no real explanation as to why, like, the cop who was on take evacuated everybody but this one nurse. You know, I mean, like, because Michael comes in and, like, all the nurses are gone and the doctor, and there's just this nurse. And did she miss the memo? Like, cop was like, oh, we have to leave one behind just in case, because there are other patients in the hospital. I can't just evacuate everybody, I guess. So, I know it kind of seems like I'm making fun of the movie, but there are things that when you see a film, you go back through and you notice, and you're like, huh, that was interesting. Choices, you know. Yeah, so it's good. You know, I look at The Offer, and I look at things like the scene with Frank Sinatra being upset with Mario over him writing the book, and I guess everybody in the world assumed that singer was Frank Sinatra. So, you know, he was like, I can't be associated with this, and he was threatening him and stuff. And to see this singer portrayed the way that he is in the movie, it's like they're obviously going for Sinatra. I mean, I don't know who else you would go for. I don't know who else that could possibly be inspired by. So, I mean, I get what he's saying there. It's a nice performance. It's a really reserved performance from Al Pacino too, which is something we don't talk about a lot. Is Al Pacino doesn't get offered this kind of role usually. He gets offered big, boisterous, and he's been known for a certain sort of speech pattern with his voice. You know, I mean, people can do some great Al Pacino impersonations. I'm not even going to try. But for those who know what I'm talking about, there's a certain thing that Al Pacino has started to sort of become known for, with this big, loud, really emotional acting that he is known for. And this is very quiet. You know, this is a very young Al Pacino, and it's so refreshing to see that side of him and to feel it and to embrace That, as well as to see just younger versions of, James Caan and Diane Keaton and Robert Duvall and just a whole bunch of people in the cast. And of course, Marlon Brando, who is one of the greats. So I was really happy to sit through this film again. And there's not really much else I can say about that. I thought it was a really good film. The first time I saw it, it was a really good film. The second time I saw it, I don't know that this is one of my like desert island movies, which is why it's hard to call a film a desert island movie like Star Wars: A New Hope, which I admitted to. I couldn't even tell you how many times I'd seen it, and my favorite of the Star Wars films. I watched it a ton of times, and blah 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 blah. And here I am with the Godfather, and I'm trying to tell you it's like my like 2.5. This is my second and a half time seeing it. Like, what am I gonna lie and tell you? This is like a desert island movie. No, I mean, it's a great film. It's just, it's not one that I feel the need to watch 100 times. But I know that there are people that do. So, but I have the deepest respect for it. I think the story's cool, and especially for its time period, I think it absolutely stands out above the rest. Now we get to Paramount Plus's lovely audio description for this film. You know what? It was written well. I will say that. I thought the audio description was written well. The dude narrating, or possibly robot, he was so monotone. I don't know. It was so off-putting to me. I know that that's just like personal preference, but there's so many great narrators out there who put so much into the films, and there are people out there that I can tell that they get really excited when they get hired for projects. And I bet this is and I'll tell you why in a second. So just follow me on this. I bet this is new audio description. So somebody got offered the opportunity to record audio description even more recently for this remaster. And I think this person could have been somebody who actually seemed to enjoy The Godfather. This person doesn't seem to enjoy The Godfather at all. I'm not sure he enjoys anything. It was so dull and lifeless. And I know that some people believe that audio description should not be intrusive because you're just reading audio description, but I swear there's a difference, because I've heard some really great narrators have been able to make or break a movie. And there has to be a little bit in it. You can't just, this deadpan, it doesn't work. It doesn't work when there's so many other narrators out there that actually could read you a bedtime story. This guy, I don't know. I'd fall asleep immediately. I wouldn't remember the story at all. I mean, that's, I guess, great for falling asleep, but not if you actually want to know the story. So luckily, I liked The Godfather enough I was able to stay awake. If he was narrating something that was boring to me, I'd be out like a light. And I watched this in like the middle of the day when I wasn't going to fall asleep. So. But this guy's sleepy time narration, I don't even know who he is, because Paramount Plus refuses to let me watch any credits. Literally, we were in the credits and we made it to Robert Duvall's name, and it ripped me out and threw me into The Godfather Part 2. That's how far into the credits we got. We didn't even get into some of the like supporting characters. We got to Robert Duvall. He's a pretty big name, and I was already done, out, gone, ripped from the credits. It's like, come on, Paramount Plus. Like, I mean, like, there are guilds and stuff that would be really upset over the fact that you don't let people watch credits. I mean, that's the whole point. They want their work to be represented, and I'm out after Robert Duvall. Like, he's like, I got like 6 cast members, I think 5, and then suddenly I'm in Godfather Part 2. God. So of course, no, I don't know who did the narration for this. I barely know who's in the film. Like, I know like a couple people, without having to use IMDb. I mean, I know how to find this information, but like the average person out there doesn't know how to seek all this information out. The reason why I say it's new narration is because they didn't bother to have the new guy narrate the credits. It's a different voice. There's a different narrator for the credits, and I don't know why they would hire somebody else for the remaster to narrate the credits, but use old narration for the movie, because it was the movie that was remastered. I mean, credits are credits. Like, I guess maybe unless they added like a remaster team to the credits. But I'm assuming that it's the film that got the updated narration. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is the credits. Maybe they hired a new guy to read the credits, which makes it even more hilarious that they cut the credits off. They paid for somebody to come back in and narrate new credits with the remaster team, and they won't even let people watch them. It's just Robert Duvall, done. That's all you need to know. Okay, we're out. But that was a little I love Paramount Plus. I love that they just hate credits. I love that they hate outtakes too. They do it for everything. I mean, this is the same one that ripped me out of Jackass Forever during outtakes. So they just refuse to let people watch anything. They just, God forbid, they lose your attention span for even 5 seconds. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about It's The Godfather. You clicked on this review. I don't even know if people are clicking on this review. I don't know if there are people out there that are like, ooh, The Godfather. The remaster, I'd love to be able to offer you opinions on that, but I'm sure a lot of it was cleaning up the film. This is back when we actually put things on film. Back in the old days, we used to actually shoot on film. It wasn't just Quentin Tarantino and Christopher Nolan doing it for nostalgic purposes. Everybody used to actually shoot on film. We didn't have digital back in the 1970s. So, so they actually had to go in and, clean it up and make it look a little bit prettier. And they took whatever their, master print was of the film and just did another once over on it. So didn't really seem to dramatically improve the audio track. Audio track was okay. There are a couple times where the audio description track dominates the film's audio track, where the film's audio track feels like it cuts out so that we can get audio description. But it's actually not nearly as bad as I've heard it in other films before. It happens primarily at the beginning during the wedding scene when there's a lot happening, but there's also like a lot of background noise. So it decides that you don't need to hear the background noise and the dancing and like the celebratory fun, because it needs to narrate other things that are happening. So it just sounds sort of weird because you can hear it kind of dropping out in place of the narration. So not my favorite narration in the world, but I'm grateful to have it, and I'm grateful that people get to continue to experience The Godfather because of it. This is definitely a classic. Like, all of the heavy hitters need to have audio description. So of course, thankful this one has audio description. I don't know what else to say about The Godfather. I'm not giving it a plus. I can't say this is a desert island film for me. I think it's a great film. It's just not a desert island film. So I'm going to give The Godfather an A. And that's it for me. So let me know what you think in the comments. Is Luca Brasi really sleeping with the fishes, or what? Like, what is the deal with that? Because I think he's dead. I don't think he's sleeping at all. Just saying. Throw me a like, throw me a subscribe. Share this with some of your friends so then they can like and subscribe. And it'll be like a chain letter type of thing. And You can check out my website, macthemovieguy.com. You can check out the audio description project for what movies have audio description and where to find them. And you can go to theadna.org, theadna.org, and you can see who's narrating what films. And then you can, if you find yourself a favorite narrator, you can check out their resume and stalk them through their audio description narration and watch all the films they've narrated or TV shows. And that's it from me until my next review. I will get to the other Godfather films. Since we've remastered all of them, I guess I have to experience them all remastered. I did get to hear, interestingly enough, it's not the same narrator, and she already sounds more exciting on Godfather Part 2. It's a female narrator for Godfather Part 2, and she had already more life in the 2 seconds that I had before I backed out. I was like, oh, whoa, it's a different narrator. Okay, I can't watch this right now. But I will get to that. So until then, remember to leave the gun and take the cannoli.